Hello my dear Scorpio, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between March 1st and March 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I have put the astrological information for the month of March in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se, where you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in the video. So I used the Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. So when I open your deck here, Scorpio, I see the Three of Wands and Page of Pentacles. So it seems like you have taken some kind of control over your life or made a new start. You see like a new brighter tomorrow, and you're putting in the effort to make it happen. It seems very futuristic, very it's very hopeful. Okay, so there's a plan for you, and I call the divine with love and light. And here we have also the Eight of Wands with the Page of Pentacles. It's saying that you have asked for help, you have asked for a message, you have asked for something, and it's coming with great speed. It's Uranus energy, so it can struck you to the ground like lightning, but it's always there to help. So you can be a little bit tired or exhausted or need to sleep a lot, but it's just because it's coming in a lot of new updates. So it's like you are a computer and you are in a little bit standstill mode because you need to update and integrate new things. That's going to it's like a list where I'm seeing where you upgrade different things, starting to like on a new you start on a new path with a lot of different things. So that's good. I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world, and here we see also the world 21 world card, and it's talking about Alpha Omega, endings and new beginnings. You are putting some old things to rest and starting anew, and now with your true you, like your true self, your natural self, the one you were when you were born. You're not trying to fit into a society that doesn't fit you, or you don't try you don't also try to make other people fit into your world view. So I'm thinking you are seeing things in a more relaxed way, and also putting in more effort where it actually can make a difference, positive effort. You're not putting in effort to struggle or into bitterness or war, or you're putting in effort where it actually counts, where it actually would lead to something prosperous. So I call the six elements, sorry, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, 10 of Wands, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. I guess I'm not supposed to shuffle anymore like that. So 10 of Wands, it's you're carrying a big load. You're trying to, it's like uphill, but you're really trying to like putting in all your effort into this. So again, it's a little bit warning that you can be overwhelmed or exhausted. It's like when spring comes and there's suddenly a lot of shining light. King of Swords and Queen of Wands. When spring comes and there's a lot of shining light, and you suddenly you have more hours of the day that you can actually accomplish something, and you can get really tired. Queen of Wands, King of Swords. This could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius person. This can be an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini person in your life. It can also be you that have started to integrate like this is your soul's energy, but it's feminine and it's very prosperous. It can be like a fiery pregnancy, something that you are burning for or longing for, and you also have the capacity to do it. And with the King of Swords, also the logic to get this show on the road. And it can also be a parent couple or a lovers couple. You are either then the Queen of Swords or the King of Air. It can be And in that case, you need to learn maybe to become more logic if you are the Queen of Wands, and maybe become more passionate if you are the King of Swords. So, okay, I will just tune into your reading for a few seconds. Okay, so my dear Scorpio, here is your future there. This is the now, and this is the past. So in the past we have a Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is usually Virgo, can be a Taurus or a Capricorn person as well. And it shows some kind of maturity, some kind of foundation, economy. It can be also a home. It can be a person that's very welcoming and very fertile, or having like a lot of prosperity. It might be you that have had a lot of prosperity, or you have been taken care of, or you have taken care of something and nurtured it. So it might be like health, also working to increase your health, working to increase your economy, different things like this. Here in the now, this is February usually, and for most of you, and this is the first half of March, and there we see the Nine of Wands. So that's Sagittarius energy, but it's like a person defending something, standing up for something, drawing a line in the sand. So it might be that you have had a very prosperous situation, but someone is now putting limits towards you, or you have given a lot and now it's time to stop giving, because you had 8 and 10 of Wands before. This is the 9 of Wands. So even though you are growing, you might be growing a lot, like spiritually, also growing your economy, or like maturing when it comes to money. You might also grow when it comes to adult responsibility, or taking better care of yourself, loving yourself better. And then the Nine of Wands is of course a way where you also need to put boundaries to, because it's tiresome to grow. Like a person that's pregnant, for example, needs to sleep a lot and eat a lot. And it's the same with teenagers. They have kind of the same hormones like a pregnant lady, and they are going to born forward an adult person, so also need to sleep a lot. So you might need to put some limitation to how you are using your energy, so the energy can go to the things where you need it the most. Maybe if you have a bad health, that's the first priority. If you had a bad economy, that's the second priority. If you need to take some steps to develop your life, that's the third priority, and so you can go on. You can prioritize different things in your life and decide what's the most acute priority, what will risk health or life for people. That's the first priority. And then what can risk my security or other people's security, that's the second priority. So you need to prioritize, so you're not wasting a lot of energy here when you need it for some internal spiritual process, or some growing process, or some maturity process, whatever it is that you are going through. Here we have the Seven of Swords. So the risk, if you don't put boundaries and not make a clear statement and don't prioritize, is that you are going to run from the situation. Or if you're putting too much demands on someone else, they might also run, because they're becoming overwhelmed, and they're becoming also chicken. They think, oh, I can't live up to these expectations. Maybe, for example, if you have decided to quit smoking, but then you maybe put a lot of effort into your work in the same time, and some other stressful situation, and then you can't quit smoking, so you will quitting smoking instead. So this is the kind of situation I see, where you have started on something healthy, but you won't make it fully through because you haven't prioritized well. If you want to stop with some kind of unhealthy behavior or start some kind of healthy behavior, you need to prioritize, so you give time and energy to that, and less time and energy to other things, because in other case you're going to fall back into old patterns. Okay, so Scorpio, this is your past. That was future, so second part of March. going into April. Here we have 2 of Pentacles, so step by step. You're just a baby just yet. We saw the page of coins, so you can't run before you have learned to crawl. So you need to take this step by step, so you're not getting overwhelmed. And also remember the balance with the yin and yang. If you're trying to be good, you need to also do things that's like if you're trying to be very responsible, you also need to let yourself do some irresponsible thing. For example, if you have learned, you're now going to have, you have given a New Year's resolution that you're going to train, you're going to run say a mile each day, then you might also need to put in more rest in the schedule, so you balance things up, so you don't fail with this, what you are trying to accomplish. And next is 9 of Pentacles. So 9 of Pentacles is about self-love, nurturing. It's Virgo, so it's much what we saw here. If you want to have a good economy, you also need to not spend money. If you need to be healthy, you need to give yourself healthy food, doing healthy things. If you want to cultivate happiness, you need to do happy things that's making you feel joyful. If you want stability, you need to work on your stability. So this is like the foundation, building a foundation for yourself through self-love, and also not picking on yourself. So for example, one day you don't have the energy to run that mile, and then you pick on yourself. So don't pick on yourself. Find out why you don't have the energy to run that mile. Maybe you're coming down with something like a cold or something, or maybe you have done overtime at work or something. Then when you see it, then you can allow yourself, okay, I won't run the mile today, and tomorrow I won't work overtime, so I instead are going to have energy to do that what I have decided upon. So it's to keep the rules in your life, but in the same time keep you very healthy. And here we have the 7 of Cups. So 7 of Cups is usually when we fall into the fog and forget everything about what we were to accomplish. But it's not that problematic, because if you fail with something that you have set out to do, making your relationships more fruitful, or having better order in your home, or whatever it is, if you fall back here and yes, everything is in a mess in your home or in your relationship or in your economy or whatever, it's just a symptom. So it's what I said, you need to figure out why you didn't run that mile. Why do you not take care of your kitchen or your relationship or your children or yourself? What's the problem? So you need to check, okay, if I would do that, you can imagine for yourself, okay, I go up and I go down and I clean the kitchen now. What's happening? And you might feel, for example, a stomach ache, or that you feel some problem with your throat chakra, or that you get a headache. Okay. So those different things should tell you something. If you get a stomach ache, it might be that you get nervous. Why do you get nervous when you need to go and clean the kitchen? Or if you get throat problem, like, okay, what is it that you haven't been saying and that's now preventing you from going and cleaning the kitchen? For example, I don't want to clean the kitchen. So you might need to say it, and then the energy is released. Or headache, it can mean that you are putting too much on yourself, and you need to down prioritize something else. Okay, if I clean the kitchen today, I will not do this and this today instead. So you need to find out what it is that's making you, why did you fall into the pit in the first place? So you're wanting to better something in your life. Why? What was the problem initially that made you fall into this pit? For example, we say that you have too much weight, and that's why you want to train right now, you want to exercise. Why did you have too much weight? So you need to figure out what happened when you put the food in your mouth. What was it that happened if you didn't put the food into your mouth? So you need to figure out what's the psychological reasons to your different behaviors, because you can change your behavior on the outside, but it will take a lot of energy if you haven't figured out why the problem was there to begin with. So for example, we might stuck our face with food because we feel lonely, or we don't feel loved, or we feel like we are not good enough, or whatever it is. And then we need to work on those issues. What's the problem with being lonely? I feel alone, I feel pain. So what's that kind of pain? Can you stay with it? Can you stay alone in your house for a week and just feel the pain? Because there's a reason to why the divine is always leaving you lonely. They want you to find out something. They want you to see something there when in your loneliness. Okay, so you need to address the foundation issue. And it's something psychological. It's something that you just do something automatically because you are trying to hide something else. So you need to find out what you're hiding from yourself. And here we have a little Page of Cups. So that's usually it. It's a crying baby inside of us that hasn't got their needs met, and trying to fix it in a very not so adult way, like drinking, overindulging, having a bad behavior, destructive behavior, whatever it is, because this is how children solve things. And you need to be the adult now and give this inner child of yours some attention, so you know what it is that it needs, and you can solve the problems for them, instead of letting it solve its problems on its own, and it's going to be some stupid solution to this. So you need to be the grown-up, and therefore you also need to be the awakened one, the one that sees, the one that feels, the one that understands, the one that can look at the situation from an above perspective. So you need a grown-up person in this equation. And here you're just being a little baby. But here you have the Three of Wands. So Three of Wands is a good thing because your inner child, at least you had this together with the Page of Coins before. You were born with this longing, and your baby inside of you, the one that said you were born as this little seed, and then you come to earth and you don't get your needs met, so you are starting to become a crying baby. We all do, because we cry for whatever we want. We want food, we want new diapers, we want someone to hold us. Eventually we will grow up and people will stop listening to our cries, and we have to start giving these things to ourselves. And then we can sometimes start with those stupid behaviors. Okay, I need love and there's no one here to love me, so I eat a lot. Or I want to be taken care of, and no one is here taking care of me, so I'm taking care of myself. I'm buying a lot of stuff to myself and wrecking my economy. But here you have the foundation setting. You came here as both the earth child and the water child, because you had a mission. So that is what you are forgetting when you're trying to take care of your ego, like your needs that you have to survive, and they are important. You need to get your body to survive, and it's not, and also your soul to survive, because your soul needs love, for example. So you need to find out what's the pillars in your life, what's the 3 things that you need to prioritize to make yourself happy, okay, and to fulfill yourself and fulfill your life mission. So it's usually something you might get stressed now and think, oh God, I don't know my life's mission. It's usually something that's very close to your heart and typical you, and something that might not be at all typical for other people. It's something like your own twist to things, or the things that you are interested in, or the things that make your heart beat those extra beats, and whatever it is that makes you feel like longing and fulfillment and excitement. And so those things are your life mission. So you need to make room for them in your life, and you also needs to believe that they can happen. For example, if you're a person that wants love in your life, and but you can't even believe that this could happen, like you can find someone. So therefore you're trying to live alone here and take care of yourself in the best way you can, but you're a baby, so it's hard, and you have all those feelings, and the baby is still there crying, and here you need to figure out, like, how can I make myself less lonely, for example. And it's easy for people to get relationships, real easy, for the ones that have a good self-esteem, that is. It's the same. If you have a good self-esteem when it comes to money, you will be very good in making money. If you have a good self-esteem when it comes to training, you will be a training freak. If you have good self-esteem when it comes to career or property or whatever it is, you are going to be very good at it. So the first thing you need to do is get yourself a foundation, like good self-esteem, self-love, I'm worthy, I love myself, and you need to really start loving yourself and accept things with you and not pick on yourself all the time. So that's another way to become grown up. Stop victimizing yourself. Stop talking about like how bad you are or how unfulfilled you are or how many problems you have. Start to see what you have instead. And develop that. So Queen of Pentacles, I think you need a mother figure in your life. You need to be the mother figure for yourself in your life also. You have nurtured this mother figure here. I think you have started with the self-love, but then you are overwhelmed again with the feelings of the baby. And now you really need to take in consideration the feelings of that baby. So you have started to love yourself. Now you really need to prove that it's true also. Okay, and here we have the moon. So you're going to start to feel the big extent, like the full extent of all the needs and things you haven't been able to meet for yourself. Because prior to this, you were a little bit childish, but here you have started to love yourself, but now you need to clean up in the mess. And a very good way to do this, we have the 18 here, 1 plus 8 is 9, you also had a 9 there, is to be alone and stay with yourself and see what it is that's going on. If, as I said, if the divine has stripped you away of all social activities, it's for a reason. It's not to torment you. It's for you to have time to be with yourself and find out, okay, what's the issue? And it's the 18 moon, so it's the major arcana moon, and this is the minor arcana moon, so you have it twice. And we have a lot of double full moons. We had 2 full moons in January, a solar eclipse in February, no full moon, but solar eclipse on the new moon. That was yesterday. The day before yesterday. Okay, it's the 17th today. So we had a solar eclipse then. We had also a lunar eclipse, a full lunar eclipse in the end of January on one of those 2 full moons that were in January. And in March we're also going to have two full moons. And here we have the devil. So I'm thinking you are going to have access to your shadow during this very the blue moon times. Blue moon, that's a very old song. So you are going to feel blue and alone, and you need to be this and just feel the full extent of it. It's going to hurt, but it's just frequencies and vibration. You will live through it. It's no problem. It will crawl in your skin. That's another song. Crawling in your skin. These wounds will never heal. I think the person that that's where the singer in this band actually took their own life. So I can't tell anything about why that were, but it came to mind. So I'm thinking the reasons to why people do this is because they can't stand themselves. In many cases, they can't stand themselves. They can't stand being in their own skin. So this is what you need to practice on, being in your own skin, cleaning out the mess inside yourself, in your own wardrobe. You have saved so many things there, and now you just need to stay with it and see it and, you know, deal with it as a grown-up person, taking care of this little crying baby, because it's still crying there. It hasn't stopped crying just because you ignored it. It's still in pain. It needs an ambulance. It needs hospital care, and you have kept on ignoring it. But here in the first part of Mars, I'm seeing you're not able to. This is the second round with the full moon thing, so you might be struck to the ground, or for some people, like younger people that haven't collected so much crap already, for them it will be a little bit more easier. They will just come to insight. Okay, so this is what I see with myself. I have this shadow. I need to deal with it. I'm going to do like this. But for older people, it will become more messy because you have more that's stored. Like when you open the closet door, everything will fall out on you. For a child or a younger person, it might come out like a ball, or, you know, a book will fall in their heads. So it's more uplifting. But for older people, you have a lot of things that you haven't dealt with during your life. So opening this wardrobe might be a little bit messy. But what you need to do is just, if it just drops a ball on you or a book in your head, you will fairly quickly know what it is that you're going to do. When it comes like the full load, you can't really, it won't be that, you can't do it in that way that you will have a eureka moment and then know what to do. You actually need to digest just the pain with it all, because it's overwhelming. So you just need to stay with the emotion, and like a digesting system, it will digest whatever you have been through, and everything will be put in the right place. And you will have probably dreams that will give you ideas, and people will come to you saying things that will give you ideas, and you will see TV shows or whatever, and it will start piecing itself together what you need to do. But you might never remember what was the problem in the first place, and it's not necessary either. You just need to digest it, be with it, stay with it, heal that poor inner child that you have left there, bleeding for eons, and take care of yourself. And by doing this clean out, eventually you won't feel like that every time you look inside. When you look inside, you're going to feel happy. You're going to feel like, oh, I am here to live another day, and to just, you know, regardless of your outside situation, even if you have lost your home and don't have anywhere to go to work so you can earn money, you're still going to be feeling blissed. You can see this with people that's really poor, because they have been cornered in every way. They can't take themselves out of there. So they need to stay with themselves, and then they start to become enlightened, because themselves, their own bodies, everything that they have. So you can see the light shining through their eyes, because they have nowhere to escape. So they have learned to clean out their own wardrobe, so it's comfortable at least underneath their own skin. And this is what you need to do too. And here we have the Empress, so it's the mother again. You need to learn to both take care of yourself, but also start to be able to receive and give in an equal amount, and see where you are giving too little, where you are giving too much, and balancing this up. The Empress, we can also have Taurus and Capricorn here. This is Cancer. Yes, and we have Scorpio up there, and it's Leo. Okay. So, okay. And here we have Seven of Pentacles. So you have Seven of Cups, Seven of Pentacles. So it's some challenge when it comes to the feminine realm. Water and earth is the feminine elements. You haven't been able to take care of your inner baby properly. Or you haven't been able to take care of like people in your surrounding. They haven't been able to take care of you. So it's like a broken bond in some way, what I'm feeling. And that's just a symptom of what's going on in you, because you have a broken bond inside of you, where you have ditched your inner child to, yes, cry in their dirty diapers for decades, okay? And here you have death. So death. 13, 1 + 2 is 4. So we have the Empress here, Seven of Pentacles, and then Emperor, Death, Scorpio. I'm a little bit amazed here because this is going to be rather difficult for you. This is going to make you want to relapse into some old behavior. So you are going to have to do it even like one more time or several more times, because it's some little part you have missed. It's something that you want to escape from, and you can't. You need to face this death in their eyes. So we'll see with other cards what it can be, but it might be that you have tried to accomplish something and you always fail, and you think that it's becoming like a self-fulfilled prophecy, and therefore you need to go back and see what it is not why you are failing. You're probably failing so you will recognize what it is that you need to see, but it's more this, what is it that you need to see? And I can't really tell you. I can just see here with the Seven of Pentacles that it's going to take time. As I said, for younger people, it's going to be the book or in the head, so they're just going to get, oh, I see, I fix it. But for other people, this will have to take many relapses where you have to open the wardrobe and something is going to fall out, or a lot is going to fall out. You will close it again because you can't stand it. That's probably it, and therefore you are going to have to do this many times, is what I'm seeing. So it will take time before you have digested it all and done this transformation. So if you have collected a lot, it will take time to fix it. If you have just a little bit that you have collected, you probably will change and move on. Okay. For those of you that has a lot collected behind the door here, the door to this wardrobe, you are going to feel like, is it never going to end? Is it always going to be like this? And the divine is going to say, swim just a little bit further. You're soon to see the shore, and you will be fooled and think that they are speaking the truth, but it's not. You're going to have to do this many times. It's like you have Nine of Pentacles is what I said for also the other signs. Is a little bit like post-traumatic stress disorder. You have really been through hell and back, and you have a lot of traumas, and those traumas can't be healed just by one peek in the wardrobe. I think you need to start to do like serious spiritual work. You need to start to at least a half hour a day do yoga. That will lead to mindfulness, because when you do yoga, you will feel your body, you will feel where it aches and where it pains, and also in your emotional body, like what chakra is the problem. And when you do that, when you do the yoga, I urge you to stay with those pains in the meantime as much as you can. It's also usually when you do yoga, you do an exercise, and then you take a pause, and in that pause you can really feel your inside doing the mindfulness exercises, and then you do another exercise and you feel your inside again in the pause, and this is the mindfulness. And afterwards you can go into meditation, because it's usually very easy to meditate when you have done yoga. So that will really help you with digesting this, what needs to be done here. I think both your inner child and your feminine side has been really wounded during a long period of time, which is now giving you a lot of traumas, and that is just it's not you don't need to take on like the victim role here and think, yes, I have been so it was really hard. You don't have to do that. What was really hard, everyone goes through these kind of things in their different lifetimes. What's really hard is that you haven't stopped and digested it. Every time when you have been through something, for example, say that a person has been bullied at school, and it was very hard. They went to school even though they were going to be bullied. They were not able to say no, and all these things happened to them. Then they will have some kind of trauma from this. Then they need to take the time to digest it, stay with themselves, align with themselves, side with themselves, and light this issue that's inside, and take the time, not just skippity scope over it and think, okay, that was then, now it's a new day. Yes, it's a new day, and you need to make your life prosperous even if you have been bullied, but you also need to take time to digest the trauma. But if this person that has been bullied in the past doesn't digest it, hops on a job that they will maybe be sacked from some reason, and that will be the next trauma that they don't digest. They just, it happened, I don't care, and then they move on to the next thing. Their economy is crashing, for example, and that's the next trauma, and the next trauma, and the next trauma. So I'm meaning this, like everything that you are dealing with needs to be digested. You can't skippity scope to the happy parts. You need to stay with those vibrational frequencies. There, why you experience this in the first place is because you need the experience. Your soul wanted it. I want to learn how it feels to be bullied. Okay, so this is what you learn, but then you never put the book of this in the library. You just throw it in the closet and you close the door. So you will never learn the thing. You never find out like how it felt, and the teaching of it all, that it's bad to bully people. So you, after you have digested it, you will have it in your backbone, and you will know for eons to come that it's not a good thing to bully other people. So you will keep your mouth shut if you don't have something nice to say. So this is the knowledge that you want to come from that situation, that you want the experience of the thing, you want to live through it, so you knew how it felt, and you that would be a teaching that you would have forever and ever in your soul. But if you never digest it, it will just be a trauma. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here we have the future, and we have Ace of Swords here. You Libra also had Ace of Swords, but here. So Ace of Swords is this eureka moment. You get the book in your head, you get it, you understand what you need to do, and you do it. For example, if you have been bullied, you feel that this is still affecting you, and you join a suicide helpline to help other people that has gone through different kind of difficulties. And in this way, you grow into this role as the person that has the knowledge. You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom from something. Use it to something good. So this is the eureka moment. I don't say that all of you needs to be like pro bono workers, but use your knowledge for something good if you want to, and if you feel that it's healthy for you. So this is when you take the knowing out of that situation. You're just not trying to, here with the Two of Coins, it can be like, oh, I try to not feel the extent of it all. I just try to, move on with my life and be happy, happy, happy. And then the Moon comes and say, no, you need to digest it because it's supposed to be in your library. And you say, oh, yes, okay, so now I got it. So that's a good thing. You see your shadow, you see what has happened to you, and you're not getting panicky. Okay, it's fine if you get panic attacks or things. That's a very good way to be able to digest something. Stay with the panic attack. Stay with the difficult breathing. Stay with the heart ache or whatever it is, and just stay with it and stay with it. Be the mother to yourself in those situations. But don't panic in the sense like, I can't stand this, because you can. It's just frequencies, it's vibration, and it's not going to kill you. It's going to kill you if you leave it in the wardrobe, because then eventually it will become diseases and sickness and like unbalances within your system. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is when you actually use your traumas to something useful. The 9 becomes a 10. You get the knowledge, you understand the thing, the penny falls down, okay? So with the Wheel of Fortune, and it comes underneath this 9 of Pentacles and the Devil, I think the Divine is also with you. It's going to, something is going to sparkle here, something is going to happen, something that can be rather amazing or rather difficult, because it's like a new struggle here, but this time it might be a struggle to end young people's misery. So it can be this. It's still a challenge, but it's a more positive challenge, because you're not in a downward spiral. You're in an upward spiral where you're actually trying to do something that's good, instead of, well, I can't get a job because I'm so traumatized from being bullied. So here you decide, I am complete. I am fully myself still. I just have more knowledge, and I will use this knowledge to spread the word. Okay. And here we have the 7 of Wands. So that's when you kind of stand up for the good thing. You have a lot of 7s here. 7, 7, 7, and the Devil. So the 7s is usually challenges, and here you have turned these challenges, as I said, into something positive. You can see the chest area on this person. It's not like in the 9 of Wands where they try to save their heart chakra from more trauma. It's more like, bring it on. I will stand up like the righteous one and fight for the small people and see to that that they are going to have tools for how to not be bullied by other people, or how to solve this, or how to get attention from grown-ups, or yes, whatever it is. I'm just saying an example. I'm not saying that all Scorpios has been bullied. I'm just saying that you have traumas, different traumas, completely different stories. I'm just trying to give an example so you can see what you can do with those traumas to make it beneficial for yourself and for your soul, because your soul wanted the knowledge. For what reason? You had a reason for it. You have some kind of soul mission here. And it doesn't, you don't have to force yourself to do something that seems good, but you don't want to do it. It's not like that. You need to have the fire inside of you to actually do it. And here you have a 2 of Swords. So it seems like you will start to think, like start to like think before you act, or think before you speak, or think before you do something. So you'll keep a more level head here in this situation. You're not this child anymore. You're starting to grow up. And here she has again the yin and yang symbol, and also the divine masculine here in its wild form, like the wild man, the parts of you that probably comes here from the shadow, but it's actually talents. We can see the red here in her dress and hair. It's coming from the Devil, so, and the blackness as well. So now you can use this your wounds as badge of honor, okay, to do honorable things, to be an honorable person, to take honorable choices. 2 of Swords can also be procrastinating and using logic to avoid doing things. So you need to see what it's coming from. You see it's ice and mountains there, so it's some kind of, it's challenges. 1 Swords, 2 Swords. So you're still working with this trauma, but it's in a much more collected way, in a much more, you have 2 here, so you're trying to take the next healthy step. Okay, and here we have the Sun. So you see the the contrast here between death and the Sun. But this is what happens when you go through death. You come to the light. When you go face your fear, you get understanding. You get this Ace of Swords understanding. You get the eureka moment, and then you have suddenly the knowledge that you wanted in the first place. Finally you get it, and you know what it all was for. You don't even have to know what it all was for. You just need to feel that you're more healthy now, when you have started to stay with the pain, integrate it. You see the blackness here, it's dark here also, but the light is coming, and here it's full. So this is also trial by fire. So it's staying with those frequencies, staying with us pain, even though it feels like you're going to die. You're not going to die. You're just going to be enlightened. So whatever you put to light will self become light, even if this is the most dense darkness. Okay, so Scorpio, it seems to be very straightforward reading. I will try to see if, and here's the 7 of Swords. So you have all the 7s. So it's a lot of challenges, but it's there for a positive reason. So for those of you that are in a troubled love relationship, I will try to see what's going on. I'm thinking you might be stuck in a destructive relationship where there's an unbalance with give and take. And if you have this unbalance, either you need to start give more, or you start to expect to receive more. And if you don't receive the things that you simply just say to other people that I need more hugs, I need more this, I need more that. And if they don't want to give it to you, you need to figure out, can I live without it, or do I need to move on? And you also need to put boundaries. So when the next time the person asks for a hug, you say, no, you didn't give one to me the other week. Sorry. You have to wait one more week. That was how long I had to wait for you to ask me to get a hug. So boundaries can be playful also. You don't have to be so darn serious. You just need to level up this unbalance. And you also had... you had this coin, this earth child or the water child. So it might be that you're dealing with an earth person because you have a lot of earth here. You are both acting like children a little bit. And both need to grow up and start to take more responsibility. So you might need to, instead of being... yes, you can need to be a little bit like, if a person doesn't understand with words, you might need to show them. It's not so you can be bitter and all revengeful. It's more like they don't understand maybe another language. So if, for example, if you have a child that spends their allowance, you don't give them more money. It's not you being cruel. It's just you giving them or letting themselves experience the consequences of wasting all their money. If a person is wasteful with your love, it's the same thing. Well, it's not there for you today. Sorry. I don't feel like it because this is the consequences. So it's not revenge. It's more that you just need to kind of prove a point to save the relationship between you two, not to make yourself the winner or the ones that like sits with the resources and not giving them away. Just like a way to show that I'm valuable to you, starts to value me. And if that doesn't work, there's more. Then you need to put more boundaries. 7 of Wands is boundary, 9 of Wands is boundary. And also 3 of Wands, it's like, I want what I want. I want some certain thing. You know, if I don't get it, you need to figure out, okay, can I live without this person? You can always live without the person, but do I want to live without this person? Or can I stand these different things? Or is it making me too anxious? Because it's a lot of anxiety here. Is it adding to the trauma, or is it solving the trauma? If it's adding to the trauma, you probably need to start back off from that relationship, and it might be what we're seeing here, and that's finally the light. But if you can also start to practice on what you need to learn that's obvious in the relationship. It's probably something that it's very obvious, how you victimize yourself, or how you make yourself small, or how you don't really engage fully, or how you don't really give of yourself, whatever it is. And again, feel the feelings of it all. Why am I not giving this person a hug when they want one? What is it in me? I feel some resistance. What is it? Okay, it goes back to my childhood. Someone asks me to clean my room. I refuse. Okay, so you don't need to use that on your lover. So you need to figure it out. Figure out who you are, and then stand up for your high moral values. Okay, to be an honorable person, Scorpio. Chaos and conflict. Yes, this is a lot what we have seen. I haven't seen so much conflict. It's more depression and trauma, to be honest. But I will see what the message is here. Might be more for the relationship. I talked more about your inside. This might be for your relationships. Disarray, being at cross purpose with one another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. Opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere, but consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered to the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is internal, project outwards and causing disarray. You may find yourself at cross purpose with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control, yet every storm passes and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is time to understand rather than to be understood. Stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. Some things are not negotiable. It's the Three of Wands. You want something certain, and maybe you don't want to take a conflict, but you might really need to. We know it's. I'm feeling like half of you Scorpios are like curling parents, either to your actual children, to your friends, to your lovers, something like that. You're curling them, you're spoiling them. The other half is letting themselves being spoiled and babied and irresponsible. So you need to see which crew you belong to. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will clear and you will be in a much better place than before, for the storm will have passed, blazing a path for new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and lighted, always better than before, if you use this time constructively. Yes, I think this is saying a lot. It's like a conclusion of your readings, and also the part that didn't come into the reading. So, for your soul, Scorpio, we have a Wild Kuan Yin Oracle card. And it's, she tames by laying down the staff and rope. Okay, it's, I think she's taming a bird. And it's 42. The other card was 33. Oh, it's an unused page in the book. My ways prevail. I subjugate the lover to the higher without any force. I subjugate the lower, to the higher without any force. Through my ways, a correct alignment to the higher divine order is established. My authority is supreme, yet I no need to enforce. Devotion to me is absolute, yet I bestow freedom. I show you now the whispering way to tame great force. I initiate you into the way of strength without coercion, the way of attraction without demand. Follow me and learn the art of feminine power. The fear shall always succumb to love. There is something that you want to attain. A situation exists that you would like to change. You have been attempting to bring it about through the exertion of your will. Now there's a time and place for such approaches. The strength of human will should never be underestimated. Yet there is another way, a gentler and more peaceful way, which will evoke little resistance within you and will help you attract what you want, rather than you having to carve it out of your own blood, sweat, and tears. This is the taming power, the magnetic lure of attraction. Get and tame even beyond the capacity of the will. What you want is possible, but the way you may be thinking it has to come about is doing you a disservice. Striving will create friction, where surrender and invitation to love will create affinity with the goal. Do all that you can and let go. When you let go of pushing and striving, there is less resistance creating, and the situation at hand can naturally begin to resolve itself. Stay strong and true to yourself and your wishes, but trust that they can manifest more quickly when you come from a place of trust in the divine plan. Okay, so my dear Scorpio, I hope this helped and that the beautiful message where you were able to understand. It seems like a difficult time ahead that will be very rewarding, and you need to keep your head cool and be the grown-up person and put boundaries and fight for what is right, and also don't fight for things that doesn't want you or that doesn't want to go with you. Then let them choose another way. Let them choose a way that doesn't include you, because you can't force your will upon someone else. For example, if you are a parent to a child that doesn't want to learn about the rules of life, then you need to let them make their own mistakes, and then you can be there to pick them up when they have fallen down. And sometimes we need to let people suffer their own consequences and not try to work so hard to make something better. They might need to understand by direct experience what was the problem. You might know, but they might need experience of it all to know. Okay, take really good care now, Scorpio, and I welcome you back to my mid-month March reading that I will perform in the beginning of March. Okay, bye-bye.